of the West Valley City Council meeting. Note that Mayor Bigelow and Councilman Bueller and Councilman Christensen are out of town. So they've been excused. They're in Washington taking care of some business for the city. So we have opening ceremony by Tom Hume. So we'll turn the time over to Tom.
I just want to invite all of you to stand up and do the legend with us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Okay, we usually recognize scouts. I don't see any scouts here tonight. So we have approval of the minutes from February 23rd.
I move for approval of our February 23rd minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion to the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. We've got time now for some public comment period. This is a time we allow the public to come and express any concerns or interests that they might have. We won't have dialogue back and forth, but you can express your concerns or your whatever you would like, and then maybe later when it's council's turn we can respond to those. So first we have Josh Sherman. We're all familiar with Josh, and so go ahead.
Thank you. Josh Sherman, 2749 South Lake Street, Salt Lake City, 84106. I missed study session. I had to work and then get here after. I knew study session was happening, and so I'm here to just respond to that. When I started this process 14 years ago, I was 24, 25. I'm now getting upwards of 40, and no one here was in this room when we started this. And I didn't understand politics, and I didn't understand how the big machine worked. I just knew we needed something for the kids here in West Valley. Having said that, after all this time, there's been huge hiccups, big hiccups, funding, no funding. We've cleaned up the park several times with Karen and other city citizens. My main concern going forward now is that we just keep what we have on paper, and I know it's a lot to ask for, and I know it's hard for the city to allocate these funds, but at the end of the day, the parents of the kids here that need this park don't have time to come to city council member meetings. They work a lot. They don't have time to go to the golf courses with city funds. They don't have time to really get into politics. They have to work and they have to ride for the kids, and those kids don't have after school programs. They don't necessarily go to ski hill days. They don't play in sports. They don't play basketball, baseball, football. They just run around. And so this is a very, very good option for these kids to do something that will encourage them and help build their esteem and give them something to do for the city, and I believe surrounding cities, to come here and skate. It's a very big part of my life, and I think it's a very influential aspect in sport that will help champion them. So moving forward, I do thank the city for all the work and all the meetings and all the time and all the money that goes into this. But I also believe that it's well worth the money. And if I had to do this for 14 years, for the thousands of kids it's going to help, that's well worth it. So I appreciate it. I'll be back here next weekend for the vote, and I hope that vote's positive, because we've come this far. It'd be really, really hard to not have that positive. All right, thank you. I'm done, but I do want to shake your hands.
Next on the list is Isaac Chifez.
Hi, I'm a resident at 3255 South, 1939 West. And in my backyard, there is a catwalk that connects my street to the street south of us. And this catwalk attracts nothing but vandalism. And my neighbor's fence is a brick wall, mine is chain link, so we can see all the vandalism. And the two houses to the street that's to the south of us, they have a chain link fence with these vinyl strips through them, so they are getting tagged all the time. And so my question or statement is there anything that could be done to block this catwalk off so we just don't need it? It's kind of useless. I called the city to get it removed a few times, and it's kind of hard. Sometimes there's not volunteers to come and remove it, so it's kind of an issue of getting people out to remove it all the time. It's always getting tagged up, and so I just would like to see maybe that removed. The guy I spoke to on the phone to get the graffiti removed told me that this issue has been brought up before, and he was familiar with the catwalk that we're speaking about. So I was just wondering if there's anything we can do, anything that could be done, because it's just attracting a lot of negativity in that area. And so that's my statement and my comments, my question.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And we have Mike Emrovitz. Afromovitz.
I am not an actual resident of West Valley City, but I am very concerned with the skate park that Josh Sherman has been working with, I'm guessing many of you for the past 10 years. I knew vaguely about this park getting built, and I just wanted to get involved in the process. I'm a 43-year-old skateboarder, have been since 1985, and I also have a background in construction, doing AutoCAD drafting with structural design, structural steel detailing, architectural design. I'm kind of lost here. I didn't know what really to expect this evening. Let's see. I guess I'll be back next week for the, what was the next? So another meeting similar to this one. But I just wanted to basically, let's see, I had a whole lot of notes here, but they're not really, nothing that would be concerned. But I do want to be involved in the process and just make sure that the park that's built is basically as good as it can possibly be quality-wise. Not sure if we would have to talk to someone on the staff construction company to maybe possibly be involved in quality control to make sure that there's nothing left that's dangerous or less than quality. Not really sure about the whole process, but I will be involved from now on. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Robert Erickson.
Hi. I live on 2559 South Derby Street, Chesterfield. I'm coming in today for a couple of reasons. The main one is all the kids walking up and down Crystal Avenue. There's a private school down there on the down to the east of us, and then Redwood Elementary. You know, and the kids, they come off and they come over that overpass and they drift into the neighborhood. We're wondering what we can do to get sidewalk or something down on that road to try to, you know, at least channel those kids to keep them from walking out in the middle of the road and, you know, and all that. So I guess my question is, what can I do to find out about get funding for that? Second thing is the burning in the neighborhood. The other day, my wife and I were sitting in our house and they were burning out of a barrel or something across the road. And it was just filling our house full of smoke. It's toxic. It's like they were burning, maybe it was that pressed wood or some sort of treated wood or possibly even copper wire, you know. We called the fire department and everything like that, and they come down and slap them on the hand. But I just wanted to know, I mean, what can we do more to help to try and get this to stop? You know, it's the people that are living in those thrown together shacks down there. Tom's been down there, I think, to check it out, and it's just getting to be kind of out of hand. So that's me.
Thanks, Robert. Is there anybody else that's here to speak that didn't sign up and would like to? All right, we'll turn some time over to the manager for comments. I'm sure he'll address some of those comments that were made.
Okay, thank you, sir. And just a couple of questions. First, I actually struck me as I was sitting here that if there were to be an award for the most enduring, longest citizen advocate out there, it's certainly going to go to Josh by a long, long shot, and that's a record that would probably stand if West Valley was 100 or 200 years old. So congratulations to him on that. And just wanted to mention that, yes, just for anybody who's wondering about the process out there or wasn't able to attend study meetings. So where the status of the skate park is we've been through an RFP process for construction bids, which I think you got that. So there's a design in place. The council will then, at the meeting next week, be considering for approval the actual bid to award staff construction, which was the item on the study meeting, the contract, and then after that, construction will begin. Certainly, I know Kevin Astle would be glad to have Josh or somebody on board who is, consulting, frankly, from that standpoint of how's the construction going along there. I'm sure he would welcome that. I actually also wanted to make a comment to Mr. Chavez's request or discussion, just so that he knows. I actually was out there in the neighborhood a couple of weeks ago, almost by coincidence. I think somebody else had actually called in about that pathway again, kind of roughly in the same time period. And he's right, completely hit by graffiti. It's a mess. You can actually walk through there, just as was the intent, but that's about all you can do. There's not much more width to it than that. The council actually had discussion about this a couple of years ago. I can't remember how long it's actually been now, and decided to leave it open because there was a group that was advocating at the time for keeping that connected walkway there to 35th South. I don't know if the conditions are still the same. I don't know if the council wants to bring that up again as a possibility of closing it down and turning that property over to the adjoining property owners. I think we had some willing owners at the time that would have been okay with taking it. We just had decided from a decision standpoint to leave it open for transit. So that's something they can take up at any time. I can't promise you any action right now on it just because that was the prior decision, but we do appreciate you coming in, making us aware of that, and certainly bringing to our attention it is a problem. And you're right, as I say, and as we've looked out there, there's definitely some competing issues and concerns about what to do with that piece of property. And to the gentleman who was asking about the issues over on Derby Street, I'm not exactly sure what to do with the fire request. I was glad and appreciate the fact that you've already contacted the fire department and they have responded. I guess we'll look into some ways to respond to that, maybe involving the police. I'm not sure. We'll get with you. I'm assuming you have some contact with fire that you may have called before, or you just call them that in as like a regular dispatch
I just
call?
called non-emergency.
Okay, all right.
I talked to somebody today and they gave me a number for Salt Lake City. It's over
Oh, yeah.
environmental.
Good. Well, I'll have, our chief will talk to you, and maybe we can get a contact.
If
on more
with
of a normal
springtime
basis.
coming, it's just gonna
Sure.
go
And
down.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to actually start a conversation here, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
but I did
sorry.
ask you. And then also on the kids walking on Crystal, that actually has been a request from a budget standpoint. It's a very expensive one, it's about $1 million to do the sidewalk that we're talking about out there, so. Council is aware of it, we just haven't been able to fund it yet at this point, so, just so you know. Okay, that's all I have, sir.
Thank you, Wayne. Any other comments from council members?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. First thing is about Charles. I just wanted to say is you have faithfully been working with the cities over the last 14 or 15 years, and congrats to you. It's wonderful. Second thing about the Chesterfield, I don't know how long ago, but a few months ago, Wayne and we rode by in that area, and I know Warren mentioned about a sidewalk too. The reason why we roll around that area and check it out and see how we can do with that. So we're aware with the sidewalk. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Any other comments? If it's okay with the rest of the council, I'd like to go back to item 4, which is special recognition. And we've had a scout troop come in, and typically what we do with a scout group is we have your senior patrol leader or somebody you pick come up to the microphone, tell us your troop name or your troop number, your name, what your merit badge you're working on or what requirement you're working on, and just so we know generally where you live, what school you attend. So if you could have somebody from your troop come up, that'd be great.
Hi, our troop is 546. The school that we currently, 2 of us attend is Hunter Junior High. Another 2 is Carl Sandburg and Hunter High. What was it again that?
What you working on? What requirement you working on tonight?
Aren't we working on the STAR, or is it the life?
STAR and communications and citizenship in the community.
STAR, life, communications, and community.
Very good, thank you. And what's your name?
Nathan Dong.
Thank you, Nathan. Okay, we'll go, excuse me, we'll move down to item 7, which is resolutions. Resolution 1650 is for purchase of LED lights for the fitness center, and I'll turn that over to you, Wayne.
Okay, thank you, sir. Yes, so this is a contract that we'd like to award, which would replace our current lighting over at the Family Fitness Center with LED lighting, as you mentioned. This is a project that was started by our management analyst, who we brought on to make some examinations as to how we could better our environmental stewardship, so to speak, but at the same time be able to do that in a way that hopefully entailed some cost savings and some cost efficiencies in the city. This is one of those instances where we hopefully are going to be able to do that. So the cost to replace these lights over there is almost $87,000, just under. There are some grants and incentives that we're able to apply for, which we are hopeful that we will be able to get, and that's going to save us something in the order of $35,000, $36,000 off of that cost to us. So we would reduce that capital investment cost to $50,000, and then on an annual basis we would save over $13,000 a year in power bills. So it's a very worthy project. It's one of a couple, 3 that we have in the pipeline, one of which we already completed. We hope to see more.
Thank you. So we have the resolution before us. Any comments or motions?
I would move for approval of resolution 16-50.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We'll turn it over for a roll call.
Councilman Nordfeld,
Yes.
Councilman Hune,
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang,
Yes.
and Mayor Pro Tem Benford.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Next item on the agenda is agreement between West Valley City and our waste management company, and I'll turn the time over to Mr. Pyle.
Thank you, sir. So as you named and mentioned, Waste Management does our trash collection in the city and our municipal neighborhoods and other areas. And we have proposed extending their bid and their contract to June of 2018. So it would be a 2-year extension. And the major changes that are in this extension are the elimination of the fuel surcharge that we have been being charged since 2011. And then there was some discussion of increasing the cost to our recycling program because of lack of demand in the commodity markets for the product, all that sort of thing, and other issues with the waste stream itself. We were able to go back with Waste Management and negotiate that to the point where there will be no increase to that charge. So those are the two main points that are a difference in the extension of the contract.
Thank you. Any discussion to the resolution or a motion?
I move for approval of resolution 16-51.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion to the motion? I'll turn the time over for a roll call vote.
Councilwoman Lang,
Yes.
Councilman Hune,
Yes.
Councilman Nordfeld,
Yes.
and Mayor Pro Tem Vincent.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Before we move on to the consent agenda, just a brief comment so that those that are here for the first time, we're moving through these rather quickly because we've studied these in a study meeting in previous meetings, and so we've had time to ask all of our questions of the staff and get our answers. So when we get to this point here, we've pretty much had all of our questions resolved, and so we move through the agenda pretty quickly at this point. So we have 2 items on the consent agenda. One is a storm drain easement, and one is an appointment of Janice Fisher to the mosquito abatement. Anybody want to handle those?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I move for approval of the 2 items of our consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion to either of these items? Seeing none, we'll turn it over for a roll call vote.
Councilman Nordfeld,
Yes.
Councilman Hune,
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang,
Yes.
and Mayor Pro Tem Vincent.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Is there any need for an executive session tonight?
No, sir, thanks.
Okay, we only have one more motion left.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.